Hey guys, welcome back to the Prosperity with Purpose podcast. I'm Jessica Heffley, and we're going to talk about why it's been so hard for me to wake up in the winter. I've got some thoughts we're going to process and walk through. This is really interesting to me. So I've really been pondering that. And I was pondering this, it's January 20 something now when I'm recording this. And I have been pondering this for a while. And I wanted to share it with you because I think there's some really interesting insights. Okay. So usually, because this is taken me by surprise. Usually I am like so excited for New Year's, like building up to New Year's, even like in November, I'm already thinking about like, what are my goals? What are the things I want for the new year? What's my word going to be? All those things. And so I'm mindful that if it is it my season, we just moved into a new house in October, listen to the last couple episodes that explain some of that process and my sabbatical and all that. But it was just so interesting to me that this New Year's in particular, I wasn't that excited about it. Like I wasn't gung ho about my new goals and getting really pumped up about different all the areas of my life and all the different area things that I want to improve and focus on. And it really was really interesting because I loved that for so long. And kind of coinciding with that, I've been reading through the Old Testament and just reading through some things which I find incredibly fascinating. And just in the okay, first of all, our calendar is not like the original calendar of Jesus back in the Bible. Like that calendar passed it like started around March was their beginning of their new year. Okay, so I don't know where we messed up. You can go down that rabbit hole. You can find some lots of interesting things, but our calendar does not line up. Okay, so let's just think about this objectively. Okay, when is a natural time for it in the year, in the seasons? When's the natural time when you are like inspired to do things, like inspired to clean, to go outside, to exercise more, to just come alive, to grow? Okay, it's spring, right? And what's the natural tendency of when it's cold outside and dark outside and rainy and snowy outside? Like, it is to rest, to stay inside, to heal, to get warm, to do less movement. And so I'm just finding all of this incredibly interesting with the natural. I think as I am growing spiritually and also as I am growing just emotionally with life coaching tools and getting real curious about things, um, I just found that interesting. Does anybody else find that interesting? Because I was having so much trouble getting up in the morning. And there are seasons when I am incredibly disciplined. And it's like, but I am like, when I wake up to get my kids up for school and it is still dark, like it is doing something to me, and I can't get my thoughts around it. I can't, think my way, think a new thought to get me out of this. And just thinking naturally, let's go back to also objectively, like back in the good old days, the farmers, they woke up with the sun and went to bed when the sun went down. Back in the olden days when they didn't have electricity, they did the same thing. They woke up when the light came out or when the rooster crowed, and at night they didn't have electricity, so they went to bed. And so it's just all these circadian, this natural rhythms are just finding it really interesting to me that how like non-natural it is to get up so much before the sun rises. And I was just having a really hard time. I was like, is this the time change? But I don't remember having this hard of a time with it for so long in the past. So it really, really got me just curious about that. So I was wondering, like, I would love to know, like, comment or when I put this on Instagram, put that, tell me how the New Year's, the time change, the darkness, whatever is doing for you. But it also freed me up because I also was having a little bit of guilt, like, wait, I don't have all these like huge ambitious goals around January 1st. Like, is something wrong with me? Am I not being a good leader? That I'm not like gung ho about this right now? And so it's really interesting to explore that with curiosity and compassion, some of the two biggest words that I teach and we explore and coach in great detail inside of Prosperity with Purpose mentorship. But like it just was super interesting to me that I actually know nothing is wrong with me because I actually live my life in 12-week increments. I teach people the 12-week breakthrough, which is a way to set goals within 90 days, which I think is excellent. And you also don't have to wait till January 1st, or you don't have to wait till spring, or you don't have to wait till the beginning of a month to start those. It is a one of a kind framework that really, really gets nitty gritty down to, well, first of all, getting really clear about what you want in the next 12 weeks, but also why. We go 7 levels deep with your why. We anticipate the obstacles that will come up ahead of time and already have solutions planned for when those come up. We go on around our thoughts and what rewards you'll give yourself when you achieve the goal. Anyway, it's very in depth, and it's way more than just like writing a goal on a piece of paper and wishing that it'll happen. It's transformative. So I do that throughout my year, and so I'm focusing on certain things. I have goals for how many people I want to reach in my mentorship and my coaching program, how many podcasts I want to put out a week, and that I want to read the Old Testament. So I'm really marathoning that. But those are some of my current goals. But it was just interesting to me. And I wanted to say this because winter is a time that it naturally, again, naturally, or we can say in the natural realm, I want to operate from the spiritual realm, but in the natural realm, it's dark, there's less sunlight, you're getting less vitamin D, which is highly associated with depression. Like it's just easier to feel those feelings, or to feel as if you may be depressed or lonely or apathetic. And I just want to break that off of you in Jesus' name. I want to teach you how to have the authority to break that off, to be aware that that's happening and to fight back against that. Last night I was listening to a podcast by John Eldredge. They have a Wild at Heart ministry and podcast. It's really great. My husband is a part of Man Alive. There's local ones all over the country that have broken out from what they were taught at Wild at Heart from John Eldredge. I think the book is called, Wild at Heart. It was a book that John Eldredge wrote 25 years ago. It's a bestseller. It's a great book. And then there's a woman version called Captivating. Highly encourage you guys to check those out to really recapture the heart of a man and the heart of a woman, maybe even in today's pop culture society, going back to how God created man and woman. Like the man is like made for adventure and to rescue a woman, and to fight for what is right. And there's certain things about a woman that God innately made within them. It's really interesting. But what he was talking about last night, he was doing a 2-part series, and it was just on, what I took away from it is that there's so many words when it talks about spiritual warfare in the Bible. They're active words. They're not like passive things. Like we are to fight for this. We are to call things forth. We are to put on the armor of God. Like they are active words. They're not passive words. So I was just really encouraged last night when I was listening to that to share that with you guys. Like in this winterish, gloomy season, to really encourage you and push into you to fight back against loneliness, depression, or apathy. Like to go back to be reminded of what your purpose is and what your mission is and why you are here and why you have this business in the first place. Um, why it is important for you to take the steps to create more peace in order to make more money. Why that is important, because you're going to get in this season, like one of my episodes previously, where I was like, it's just easier not to do it. Okay, it is. And especially in the winter, it's easier not to do it. But I just want to let you off, not off the hook. I don't have the permission. I don't have the power to do that. But just like if you were also feeling a little bit of like guilt and shame that you don't have these massive goals, like you're not going to go run a marathon January 1st. That was another thing I was remembering as I was trying to think of some notes for this podcast episode. Is years ago I did do a half marathon. I know, you're impressed, right? Like Jessica, who literally hates running. So that's good for you. Let me tell you this. That is good for you in seasons of your life to do something you absolutely hate. Okay, where I am very much about living in alignment with your values, with what God's told you to do, being curious with your thoughts and feelings and actions. But sometimes you got to push yourself. You got to do hard things. But anyways, when I did a half marathon years ago, I remember that I started training in January, and that was horrible. Like getting up when it's dark outside and it's cold, like ew. And so if you don't have lofty goals of running a marathon or making $1 million in the next 6 weeks, it's okay. But pick something that you can be consistent in. These winter months. So when I look at for example, for me, when I look at exercise goals, there are seasons when I've done 75 hard. There are seasons when I've done very consistent hard, heavy lifting, weight lifting training. And there's a season right now where it's winter, or there was a season a couple months ago when I was very much traveling a lot. We were in the heat of the home building process. It was a very stressful season for me, which also is taxing on your body. We're going to do some health episodes coming up soon, but it's really like if you're in an incredibly stressful state, it may be detrimental for you to be doing excruciatingly hard and taxing hit workout exercise regimens or heavy lifting. Like there is a season. So, anyways, listen to your body in the season, but be consistent. So if your goal is not to do couch to 5K and go run 3 miles a day, do 25 push-ups and 25 squats every day. Like do something to be consistent. If you're in a season in your business where you're not like, I'm going to reach my next goal the next 90 days and I'm going to push, 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 push. And if you're not in that season, there is seasons for that. If that's not you today, still ask yourself, what can I do today? What can I do daily in my business to maintain consistency? Okay. So anyways, this as I have you guys do you know the song Seasons by Hillsong? It came to mind, and I was thinking about doing this episode with you guys. So just wanted to share that with you that this winter is like really funking me out, but I'm taking active steps to be consistent, but also, especially since last night, be encouraged to actively pray against that, actively meditate on specific scriptures that go against the spirit of depression or loneliness or apathy, or how you can cast those things off. You can say, I break that in the name of Jesus. I'm not coming in agreement with that. Get off of me. Sometimes I like physically will wipe things off of me. Sometimes I'll go around with oil and pray over my house and anoint it. And it's just another act of obedience to show that I am dedicating this to the Lord. I am calling on the Lord to be present here, to fight for us here. He is welcome here. Um, anyways, so this might be a great time to go back in. I did a 5-part series years ago on spiritual warfare, which was a great series for beginners and experts alike on how for you to take authority of your home, your life, your business, and some really tangible and practical tips in that. But I'm going to sign off for now. Seriously, let me know. I think I'm just like longing to not feel alone in this, but I really do know that I am not alone in this, that this winter is different in how I have been setting goals. Some of it may do with the climate of the world. We're in an election year, 2024. Who knows what's going to happen? Let me give you a little bit of advice for the 2024 year is to hold on to it loosely. I have some really exciting like travel plans this year with my family. We're going to some really exciting places I will tell you guys all about. They're big, like memorable, once in a lifetime trips. But I'm also mindful that it is 2024. The world, who knows? I just hold life a little bit looser. My plans are not set in stone because we never thought 2020 would happen, but the world could shut down. It could not. I have no idea. It's like kind of fun for me to be like, oh, I have no idea what's going to happen, but I am not holding on. Like plans very much could change, but I am going to be consistent. I'm going to be gentle on myself in the winter. I'm so excited for spring and the natural motivation and inspiration that comes with that. But in the winter, don't just do nothing. This is a great time to reflect, to journal, to be consistent, and even to plan about what you do want to do in the spring. So God bless you. God bless your family. God bless you as you fight for you and your family and your businesses. And God bless you and your consistency. We'll see you inside of Prosperity with Purpose Mentorship.